I thought first half Minnesota is about as good of a defensive half that I've seen all year from this team, which now I keep saying we haven't hit right on all cylinders yet. So we didn't do it for 40. We did it enough towards the end to get the stops that we needed, but we didn't do it for 40. So again, that's why I keep saying, it's frightening that we can get scary, that we can continue to get better, and we can. I don't know if we put a 40-minute defensive game together or offensive game when you're just hitting on all cylinders, much like Purdue did against Iowa. They were hitting on all cylinders. So I'm encouraged, and I look forward when that day comes.
Pat, what have been the keys to playing so well and winning games on the road in the Big Ten for you guys this year?
I think it's been defending and rebounding. I'll give you those stats again. In the last 6 games, we're 6-0. We're keeping teams under 40% field goal percentage, under 31% field goal percentage, and we're keeping them off the free throw line. I think during that week we had some speed bumps. We were fouling a lot, and we were putting them on the free throw line. We're not putting them on the free throw line, so that's got to be really important for us heading into this game tomorrow night, because they're tough, they're physical, they're making threes, they make almost 9.5 at home, but they got some big boys inside that can easily get them to the free throw line. And then we got to keep sharing the ball. Obviously, Lamar had a great game on the other day, but we just got to make sure we move people and then attack the paint when we can.
Speaking of Lamar, he's closing in on Jesse Arnell's record for second place in program history in points scored. Can you draw comparisons between the two of them, both on and off the floor?
You know what? I don't know Jesse, but I know of him, and I've seen the record books, and I've seen what he's meant to this program. And, Lamar, I think, is right there with a guy like Jesse. Look, Lamar Stevens was here for almost 2.5 hours after the game signing autographs. He didn't turn anybody away. He signed every autograph. That's just, we can look at the stats, we can talk about numbers all you want, but that to me is the most important thing. I mean, he sold this place out with his book, with his Every Day is Awesome, or Everybody's Awesome, excuse me. Every day is awesome, but everybody's awesome. I mean, pretty special young man.
Is it any more difficult to tune out, I guess, the noise now as opposed to this speed bump section of the season?
Yeah, I think we learned from that. I think we're doing a really good job, and I continue to talk about putting your walls up and making sure you're staying off social media and don't fall in love with the headlines or the press clippings or the tweets or the likes and or the pictures or Instagram, whatever that is, and just keep moving forward, keep showing up, keep getting better. It's about Penn State basketball, and you know the formula. You see what works now, and you see what finds success, and I'm going to keep drilling that in their head. In order to win on the road tomorrow night in a hostile environment, one of the best home environments out there, we have to be on point. We have to play tough. We have to play physical. We have to play together. And we definitely have to defend and rebound. They're one of the better rebounding teams in the Big Ten. So, if we do that, you give yourself a chance.
Coach, as successful of a season as it's been for you guys have certainly pushed through your share of adversity, playing at Michigan State and having to play a big home game without Myron. How important are these type of scenarios and situations in games for you, and how will they kind of, prove at the end of the season that, these games were really meaningful?
Yeah, I think all these experiences toughen us up. Another guy's got to step up. Somebody's got to make an impact. Somebody's got to contribute. And again, all-star in your role. Yeah, we didn't have MJ. Mike was in foul trouble. Okay, next man up. We believe in you. We have faith in you. And your teammates trust you. I think that's the big thing right there, trust. So through these adversity and challenges, continue to get better, continue to grow, have that growth mindset, and keep laying it out there for 40 minutes. Give yourself a chance.
Defensively, when somebody gets hot the way that Carr did, and maybe that Winston did the game before, you've had these individual opponent performances. How do you kind of address that with your team in terms of what how you throw things at them, I guess, to kind of knock them off of that.
Yeah, I think you go up 20, and great teams you got to keep it at 20, or it goes to 25. You can't look up at the scoreboard. I'm not saying we did that. We did look a little fatigued, not having MJ and those extra minutes by MJ and production by MJ. Definitely, you saw that a little bit with less than 8 minutes to go, but that definitely hurt it. But we got to find that, hey, this is who we are. We play this way for 40 minutes. Winston, he made tough shots, like drifting to his left threes. The threes that Carr made were contested. We fouled him on one. I mean, the only other thing to do is run another guy at him at some point. But we had a couple live ball turnovers. Penn State hurt Penn State at that point. We had a couple live ball turnovers to get him going. And when that happens and he starts to see the ball go through the basket, well, it was definitely a domino effect. Everybody started hitting. So, we weathered the storm. Years past, we might not have won that game. But we made enough stops and enough plays on both ends to secure the victory.
Hey, Coach. Last season, when you're in the middle of a losing streak, you're in these press conferences and you're saying we're close, be patient. When you get to where you're at now.
Did I say that? Is that what I said?
I would say so.
That's good stuff.
Is there a point where you can point to that now and be like, we were that close now that you've taken the next step? And you think your team would be where it's at now without having those experiences?
If we didn't have that January, I don't know if you're as successful right now. I don't know if you're learning how to win in the last 4 minutes of games. I don't know if you're closing out the way we're closing out. All those shared experiences really toughened us up, taught us a lot. We learned a lot. We kept a growth mindset. And if you do that, you're going to use those setbacks. You're going to use those failures to push you to find some wins or success. Or maybe not, but at least put yourself in position to win or find success. So I think that really helped us. And I know it stinks to go through it, and everybody's going to go through it. Everybody's going to go through these speed bumps. Obviously, I don't want to think about last year, but it definitely toughened us up for what we're going to go through now.
Is there any way you can turn, playing in a hostile environment like Purdue, like looking ahead to that, is there any way you can kind of turn that into a positive and something to be excited about for your guys, like just a new challenge or a new?
Look, we have tough road games already. We've played in some tough venues already. So I just tell them, go out and have some fun. Let's enjoy this experience, especially for your seniors. The last time you're going to be in West Lafayette. Let's enjoy it. Let's go out and have some fun, and let's try to compete and see what happens. I think it's a great environment. They do a great job marketing-wise, and the music and all the videos and everything that they have going on there. It's pretty special. But you know what? Let's embrace it. Let's see what we can do.
Do you expect to have MJ back?
I'm going to see him today at practice, so we'll see where he is.
And when it comes to playing well on the road, how much of that is also a factor of having so many veterans who have been there? I mean, even Curtis has been,
Yeah.
You have a lot of guys who have played in a lot of places.
Yeah, like under your quote, it's just very similar. Look, we have Lamar is a veteran now. And he's been there. He makes the free throws at Michigan State. He made big shot. That three was huge when they were on their run. We were leaking some oil viciously right there. So he's making big plays at a big time. That's a senior. Curtis at Michigan, his number was called. He steps up. He's done it here and there periodically in different games for us. That's a senior. And Mike's playing better on the road. So you hope your seniors step up. But two guys we're not talking about that really keep us together. The glue of all this is Jamari Wheeler and John Harra. I mean, they're the unsung heroes of this team. They do whatever it takes to try to win a game and compete. Jamari's so disruptive. John's defense. Now, John, they have to worry about John now. He's making his go-to moves. He's making his layups. He's doing a better job from the free throw line. You better guard him a little bit. So I think the seniors and our juniors have really played with that veteran-type experience that you're talking about, Mark.
What do you say to Mike ahead of a game where he's going to be playing in a hostile environment against a guy who really feeds off that crowd, and Matt Harms, especially after he struggled with foul trouble in the most recent game?
Yeah, he's been playing well on the road. You can't worry about Harms or Williams or Purdue's hostile environment or the refs for that matter. Just focus on what we can control. Focus on your energy, focus on your attitude, and focus on your teammate. Be a great teammate. That's all we're asking you to do. If you get a bad call, power clap, move on. Don't worry about it. Yell attitude. It's totally fine because it's going to happen. You know, obviously the disparity of foul call on the road, home and away, has been different. But he's got to know. He's got to be in his stance. He's got to have great habits, and they're going to go at him. So be prepared. Do the best you can.
Curtis had a corner three that he didn't take late in the game, which reminded me of, I think it was Miles against Iowa, the exact same
Ohio
sort of Ohio State time and score sort of situation. When you look at the film, at these little things that maybe don't pop up when you're watching, how do you think the learning has gone over the course of the season for just basketball IQ moments?
Yeah, back to the experiences that we're talking about. Early in January, December, we're shooting that. And again, I want our guys to play with confidence and a swagger. So if he shot it, I would have been like, but he's playing with confidence and a swagger. But he made the right basketball decision, and he made 2 free throws. And really, at that point, the clock is the opponent. So we got to make sure we take as much time off the clock, and then we have to make our free throws.
And this is sort of obvious, I guess, but how much better is it that you guys have been able to dictate games to people versus being in a situation where maybe you're down 5 or you're down 6? You've started pretty well. That second half run that Minnesota has is probably a different game if you aren't, I mean, it's obvious, but if you're not ahead by 10 or whatever it is, things go different.
So the funny thing is you win the first 4 minutes in the second half. That was the difference. I mean, obviously you won the first half. You did a nice job in the first half. But if they would have started that run right out of halftime, I might be sitting here in a different situation. But we won that first 4, which was huge, massive, because, I mean, they shot lights out. I mean, what they make, 8 threes in the second half? I mean, they weren't all uncontested. There were some difficult shots that they made. So give Richard credit for what he did, and whatever he said at halftime motivated his team.
What was your reaction when you saw the top 16 release Saturday? Because we've seen a lot of projections so far, but this is the first taste of what the committee actually thinks. And did it add a little bit of fuel to the fire to know that you're still not getting that kind of recognition that even some of the broadcasters were talking about afterward? You
know, I don't know if we got the respect that we deserve, but it's understandable. You know, I get it. We have to keep winning. And look, we're in control of our own destiny. You know, it doesn't matter. What is it? February, what is it? I don't know. 10th? I don't have my contacts in Mark. February 10th. It really doesn't matter today. It matters March 10th a lot more than it does today. So I'm not going to waste my energy on being, I can't believe we're not top 16. It's just a waste of time. Let's keep proving them wrong. Let's keep showing up. Let's keep winning games. Let's keep getting better. Let's keep trying to be the best team that we can be by the end of the year. We can't fall prey to that noise or that distraction of, oh, I can't believe we're not. And then you stub your toe. Then you hit a speed bump. And right now, that our focus needs to be on Penn State basketball. Penn State can't beat Penn State. We just got to keep getting better.
Pat, I remember last year how big of a deal it was to overcome all that adversity and then earn the first round bye in the Big Ten tournament. Now you're in the opposite position. So how do you go about assessing Penn State's spot in the Big Ten when there's so much movement still to happen?
Yeah, I'm not assessing anything. I'm not even looking at it. I'm just so focused on what we control and what I can control. If I start worrying about who played last night, Northwestern, Rutgers, then I'm putting energy into 2 other programs that I don't coach. So I'm going to focus on my guys, my team, my staff, you know, and that's what it's all about. So let's just keep getting better, see what we can do, you know, one day at a time. I know it's so hard. So hard because you want to do the what-if game. I get it. I totally get it. And I know families want to do that too, and alums and fans, and you guys can do that. That's fun. Go ahead, write whatever you want to write. But us in the locker room, we can't play the what-if game. And then you lose sight, then you lose focus, then you lose games.
You look at, I think if I recall, last 5 games or so for an opponent, when you see Purdue has had sort of an odd year.
Yeah.
In a lot of different respects. It stands to reason they're not going to score 61 points in the first half tomorrow, or things like that.
Let's hope not.
How do you go about evaluating a team like that is a little off, not character, but just different than usual?
Purdue does what Purdue does. He's had some tough, Matt, first of all, great coach, and he's had some tough stretches where they couldn't score the basketball. Now they're hitting on all cylinders. What they did with Iowa, how well they played at Indiana, the shot that Sasha makes to beat Northwestern. I mean, Northwestern's up 8 with 2 minutes and 30 seconds to go, and they win the game. Purdue does. I mean, a shot like that can turn your season, and it has. That's why they're on their 3-game winning streak. They're at home. They're making them 9.5 threes a game, and their defense is their defense. They always play great defense. They always make it very difficult. They pick you up full court. They try to disrupt your offense and your flow. He does a great job, and they're one of the hardest teams to guard. They do a lot of fluff action to get to different screening action and different dribble handoffs, and then they go rebound the ball. I think they're number one now in the Big Ten. I think they just overtook either Rutgers or Michigan State, or they're all right around there. So, you got to do a really good job in communication, and your principles here are going to be critical for us. But that's why Purdue is playing so well.
I know that you guys set a list of goals at the beginning of the season. I'm just curious, how do those goals, are they malleable over the course of a year when, depending on wins, losses, anything like that?
I always make attainable goals. I don't think it's right to, make a goal that is so far-fetched. And then when you're not even close to it, there's no worth. So I think short, attainable goals is something that we always do, and I think we're right where we need to be to achieve those goals. And we got some, be the best team we can be by the end of the year. I know Mark loves when I say that, but if it's any more than that, again, you're going to put too much stress or pressure on your team. I think our team's playing very carefree. They're playing with a lot of confidence right now, and I'm not going to start saying, hey, you can win a Big Ten championship, or you can get a double bye, or you can be a number one seed in the NCAA tournament. No, I think all that stuff's for you guys. For us inside is, look, we haven't hit on all cylinders. There's a lot of room for growth and improvement.
Obviously, you can't talk specifics, but have you noticed any change in the reception on the recruiting trail through all of this, or is this too early to start experiencing?
No, you know what? I told you guys what happened in early January, late December, I think it was, right after the dead period. So it was in between New Year's and Christmas. It's just different. Different people are very welcoming, and would love to take our phone calls, would love to come on visits. Which is very encouraging. It really is. The staff has done a great job. More importantly, it's the players and the families. They become your best recruiters because families now talk to other families. They want to know, how's the experience, how's coach, how's the staff, how's the school, do you get the support you need? And I think that's powerful. The players and the families do an amazing job with that. Don't get me wrong. My staff is incredible at what they do, but it's the players and the families.
Coach, in terms of
time limit here, Rose? Do we have a time limit? Okay. We don't have a time limit?
The last time we didn't ask enough questions.
Is there a time limit? Can we get a shot clock? Nate's asked way over his limit, by the way. He's already asked 6 questions today. Go ahead.
James's opening statements.
My opening statement's short. I'm sorry.
Sorry, Coach. In terms of the leaders like Lamar and Jamari, how have their mentalities kind of been with the team? Have they kind of stepped it up, as the season's kind of progressed, or have they had the same mentality just from the start of the regular season?
Yeah, I think their focus has been, get better every day and don't let your guard down. I'd add John Hara to that. Those 3 guys, they practice hard. They're always winning our attitude club. They're either 1, 2, or 3 every single day. And to do that and be so consistent with your messaging, but more importantly with your effort, is I think why you're in the situation where you are, because of those 3 guys.
Any other questions for Coach?
Thanks, guys. Take care. I want to thank the fans again. That was awesome. 15,000 strong. It was nice to see.